So I went ahead and got first at an OTS store yesterday. So top 4 got Nats invites, and I got the map because I won in Swiss. So let's get into this deck profile. So we play 3 Decatron. One of the best cards in the deck because you normal summon him, and then you can send it Infernoid. He doesn't send his cost though, so that's like the worst thing. So, but if you don't negate his effect, he's going to send regardless. It's kind of funny when people ogre this card because they think it stops it, and then you just send an Infernoid for free. And then for the 1-ofs on Infernoids, we play Infernoid Petrulia, Andra, the Brick, and then the OTK. So he's an MST, which came up like once against Trickstar, or sorry, Mermail. Andra is a Compulse. It bounces any face-up card your opponent controls. So if you play like Kaijus, you can give him a Kaiju, special this card, and then bounce the Kaiju back to hand, and then just recycle it. It's fun for the whole family. We play the 1 Brick. This card's only good because you play double Feast, and then that's how you get your double Decatron, and then it's your double Decatron negate board. Then we play the 1 Adendel. If you have this Underclock Taker against a non-pendulum deck, it's 56 points of damage on board, so at that point you're probably winning the game. And then for like the 2-ofs, we play 2 Harmodic, 2 Sidesmiths, 2 Mama, and 2 Papa. Harmodic's good because he pops a monster, but he also enables Dante because he's a level 3, and then Sidesmiths at the end of the battle phase is a non-target to banish, so that's always good because it's board control. Mama is a Heavy Storm. It actually cost me game 1 against a Trickstar player yesterday because I forgot Waking the Dragons was a card, and I Heavy ID'd him and he made Ultimate Falcon, so I just scooped. And then Anunku won me a game against a Paleo player for the mat actually because I made double Anunku on him and he bricked and he couldn't out it. So moving on to the Burning Abyss engine, we have 1 Tour Guide because she's at 1. This card's really good. And we play 1 Libic, 1 Barbar, 1 Alec, 1 Seer, 1 Graph, 1 Calcap. We play these 2 because they're at 1. Otherwise, you would play more. Alec can negate monster effects, so that's pretty good if like you mill it or you send it. Calcab bounces spell and trap cards, which wasn't a whole relevant, but it forces them to either activate it or lose it for the turn. So you can generally OTK pretty freely. Barbar burns for games. This actually won me a game against the Trickstar guy because I like barbared him twice for 1200. And then Libic special summons a Burning Abyss monster from your hand and negates its effects till the end of turn. So that's like your main extender. Then we play 3 Farfa, 2 Rhino, and 3 Skarm. Rhino's pretty good because it's a Foolish Burial and it prevents your Burning Abyss monsters from dying if they're on board with another monster. Farfa banishes any monster until the end of the turn, and then Skarm lets you search during the end phase. So like if they ash you at any point in your turn, you can just Skarm off. And then for the hand traps, we play 2 Droll and 3 Ash. I saw Droll more yesterday than I had Ash, and it was really good against like the Trickstar matchup because game 2 the guy like searches Droll, or he searched with Terraforming, and as soon as it resolved I hit it with the Droll. And then Ash came up like once, I think, against a Valkyrie player because he went ahead and activated, or he went Summoner Monk and then he like Summoner Monked, and I ashed him, so it cost him the game. Play 2 Called by the Grave because Konami hates all of us, and you kind of have to stop the hand traps, although it's not really all that important in this build because it doesn't straight up lose to hand traps. And we play 3 Banishment, 3 Imagination, and then 2 Feast. So these are like really good and I like the ratios. The only downside is like sometimes Feast was a brick, but that's gonna happen. But Banishment searches Feast or Imagination, and Imagination is like a better Shaddoll fusion because it lets you send from deck. So you can send like up to 6 Infernoids, and if you have any more in your hand, you can just unload everything and then drop the fusion on board and then go off from there. Moving on to the extra deck, we played 2 Dante and 1 Beatrice. So Dante's really good, but I only go into the 2 most of the time. I feel like 3 is kind of excessive, and then Beatrice, because she's at 1, We don't play a Dante like a Beatrice target other than another Dante. And I actually used Beatrice to loop. I used a Beatrice against the Valkyrie player to like loop the Dantes back onto the board and whatnot. It was just pretty dumb. We play one Levier because this card's a Monster Reborn if you have a banished Decatron. It's the only time it's relevant. For fusions, we play one Tierra, 3 Natis. This is pretty standard. So Tierra sends the Natises or any other cards from your extra deck to the graveyard. So you like out their board or you out your Tierra, and then you just attempt to OTK. Very rarely do you not OTK if you resolve this card. For links, we play one Borload and one Underclock Taker. My girlfriend actually pulled the Underclock Taker before the event and I stole it. And the Borload Dragon actually put in more work than I thought. It won me 2 games against the Trickstar player, and then it won me 1 game against the Valkyrie player because I stole his Jizukiru once he gave it to me. So that was pretty cool there. We play one Omega because it's at 1, and you don't go into him all that often, but he's just there if you want to send the Tierra, and you can double Imagination because it's not a hard once per turn. For Cherry's targets, we play one Makaba, one Firewall, one Electromite, and then one Kagiri. All these are pretty standard. Like Makaba definitely hurts the deck a whole lot because all your monsters are like activated effects, so Makaba can negate and it just hurts. Firewall for the Goki matchup, which I didn't play at all yesterday, thankfully. Electromite for the Pendulum matchup, which I didn't play. I think my girlfriend was the only Pendulum player in the room. And then Kagiri for the Sky Striker matchup, which actually beat me, or won me the game against the Sky Striker player in top 4, because he was playing Sky Striker Trickstar. So going on to the sideboard, we play triple Lancia because I thought there'd be McKnight invoked, and if you drop this on them on their first turn, they can't do anything. They can just like set and pass or attempt to like, yeah, that's actually it. They can just set and pass. Unless they had Called by the Grave, then they just wanted it more. We play 3 Reaper, as I mentioned. This card's really good for going second because you're going to force your opponent to go first no matter what, and then depending on your matchup, you can just hit the targets as you need to. We play 3 Twin Twister. I put this in a lot yesterday, especially against the Paleo matchup, because they don't play Waking the Dragon, which I think as like would be a mistake, but that's just me. But so this card came in quite a bit. I didn't really see it all that often though against the Paleo guy, so it didn't really matter. 3 Evenly Match. This card's really dumb and not fair at all. It punishes players for playing poorly and overextending. That being said though, I did do it. I resolved it once against the Paleo player in Swiss, and then I beat him using this card game 2 in Top Cut. And we play 3 Anti-Spell for the Sky Striker and the Pendulum matchup. The deck can't play Secret Village, so like this is probably the next best card, especially against Sky Striker. But that being said, I feel like the only thing that I would probably change about the build going into this regional in Philadelphia that we have this coming up weekend is I'd probably cut down on the Entra, but at the moment I'm playing 15 Infernoids, so you have to play at least some more. And then I'd probably cut Skarm down to like 1 or 2, just because the searching really isn't all that relevant after going first. And then, so my matchups for the day were, I played Mermails 2-1. He was playing like the old school Deep Sea Diva salvage build, which was really weird. And he also didn't know how links work, because he like banished a Link Kribo with Farfa, and then he put the Link Kribo in the main monster zone, and then tried to Firewall Dragon bounce it back after he made Firewall Dragon. So unfortunately, like, it was a free win. I lost to Paleo in round 2. It just came down to game 3, and he wanted it more. I lost, and then I had to play Trickstar. The Trickstar matchup was pretty easy. The guy misplayed really bad. Game 3, he called Dante first turn with Side Blocker, so I couldn't make Dante. And then the second turn, he called Drone Lockbird. So if he'd actually just called Dante again, I would have lost because I had no play other than Dante. And then I made Borload and I killed him, and like right as time was getting ready to be called. And then I had to play Valkyries. That matchup was really weird because at first I didn't know what he was playing. I thought he was playing Crusadias, and he bricked. But So it wasn't a free game, but I mean, game 3, he gave me a kaiju, and I just stole it. Yeah, he gave me a kaiju, I outed it with Warlord, and then I just killed him with it. And I had to play Sky Striker Trickstar, who was actually one of the kids who rode with me in my car to the event, and so it was a mirror match, or not a mirror match, sorry. So I ended up beating him pretty easily. I 2-0'd him. That matchup's like a walk in the park for most Infernoid decks, as long as they have Ash. And I just happened to reprogram game 2. And then I played against Paleo and top cut for the mat. The matchup was pretty scary. Like, Gozen match hurt like the entire day because you can't drop Infernoids and Burning Abyss with that card on board. So it did hurt quite a bit, but luckily, you know, the deck came in clutch. And then game 3, he just bricked really bad. He didn't see a single Paleo monster, which is bad for the deck. And my inboard when he scooped was Deviati, or 3 Drekatron under Deviati, a set Skarm, and then a set Jet. So I had complete control of that game, no matter where it was going. So that was it, guys. I would like to shout out my girlfriend for her amazing support and her good luck kisses in between each round. And yeah, so that was pretty much it. I want to thank Landslide Games and Clinton, Maryland for hosting the event. It was really cool that we got to go to this event. I do wish there were more players, though. I mean, an invite's an invite, but I don't feel like I really earned it. So I'm going to try to get it at Philly this coming weekend. Anything else? Oh, also shout out to my girlfriend for going 2-2 at like her first tier 2 event. She lost on the bubble to Trickstar Sky Striker, who was the kid that re-rode with, just purely because she bricked. She lost every game simply because she bricked. So yeah, so if you want to actually see her deck profile from the event, go ahead and give me a like and a comment on the on this video. But thanks, guys.